and welcome to another episode of Beer for Breakfast ABV. I am Danielle from 91X in the Mornings with Marty, and as always, I have my beer drinking partner in crime with me, Mirrors, Paul Segura, Brewmaster, Carl Strauss, and oh my gosh, we are so insanely excited to welcome McIlhenney Brewing. We have Shawn and Jamie McIlhenney from McIlhenney Brewing out of Alpine. Welcome, guys.
Hi. Well,
hi.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for coming on the show.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you so much. So, I mean, look, Shawn, you and your dad, Pat McIlhenney, have been making some of the best craft beer in all of San Diego. I mean, were you guys the first brewery in Alpine way back when?
Yeah. So my dad started Alpine Beer Company back in, I think he formed the company in 1999, and took him a couple years to find a suitable location for his brewery in Alpine. And I think he opened up summertime of 2002.
Dude, yeah. Your dad has made the most amazing beer. However, not to shade on Pat, your beer, Shawn, is just like continuing to raise the bar. So before we really get into McIlhenney Brewing and what you guys have been doing, let's start with our first beer, the Wizard's Wand West Coast IPA, 6.7% ABV. Tell me all about this beer.
So we start with a base of premium malt that lends a nice stage for the real true stars of the show, the hops. So this is hopped with Strata and Mosaic. Pretty much a 50-50 split, both on hot side and the dry hopping on the cold side. So really nice. You've got some undertones of citrus, but some tropical fruit character balanced with a little bit of that piney dent character. At an approachable just over 6.5% IPA. It's my go-to beer right now.
Paul, what are you feeling about this beer?
This smells just like I would expect it for those two hop varieties. So Mosaic to me always like, I don't know if it's just me, but Fruit Loops. Mosaic tastes like Fruit Loops to me, and Strata tastes like strawberries to me.
It does have the definitive strawberry character, though it's maybe not the star of the aromatic display, but it's definitely a component.
I get both of them.
Yeah, and it's unique in hops. Strawberry is not really a common descriptor when hops are involved, right?
This might be like a weird thing, like just as in general beer drinker, when I hear the taste of strawberry, specifically coming from Mosaic, I always think of those like strawberry candies that you'd find in the bottom of your grandma's purse, and you don't know how long it's been there, but like it's got
That's
that.
Delicious.
Yeah, it's still delicious. That's what I get off of it.
Yeah, awesome.
It does have that. Now that I go back and take a second sip, right?
It's like warm strawberry.
I mean, it's usually in West Coast IPAs, I think people are going for like punchier pine and grapefruit and a little bit more aggressiveness on the bitterness.
Right.
This has, it's aggressively hoppy.
Sure. But not overly bitter.
Right. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's nicely balanced for a West Coast IPA.
Right.
And some
we
people
strive for balance. Of course.
It's relative to the style, right? West Coast IPAs aren't balanced beers.
No, inherently.
They're always very slanted toward the hop side, but this is remarkable, man.
Awesome. We're digging it.
So, Shawn, I've never actually gotten to ask you this before. Obviously, your father, Pat McIlhenney, that started Alpine and was a firefighter, started home brewing, went professional brewing. Did you want to be a brewer from the get-go, or did you just kind of fall into it because of your family business?
It was not my intention to, become a brewer. It was more out of necessity than anything. As you mentioned, my dad was a career firefighter for a long time and couldn't afford as much time as he needed to, make the brewery run as successfully as it did. And so it was kind of we need a beer. We got to fill this tank. I can't do it. So what do you think? And after that first brew, it was, sky's the limit. This is what I want to do. I found it out, and I've been doing it ever since.
Dude, you literally make my absolute favorite beers in all of San Diego beer. You have such a gift, and the fact that you didn't go out of, for it because you had a passion, it was a family necessity and then became a passion is really, really special. I freaking love your beer, Shawn.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Hey, I want to believe that the mom had something to do with this too. I mean, Val is no slouch when it comes to she knows her way around beers.
Absolutely. Her palate is second to none,
Yeah.
I think that's something very special about McIlhenney Brewing. You guys legitimately are a family-owned brewery. It's Pat and Val, Shawn, Jamie. I see Jamie in the tasting room every time I go. Shawn is making the beers. You guys are legitimately a family-owned brewery in San Diego County.
Oh, yeah. We're here every day.
Yep, the home away from home.
Yeah.
You may even see the littlest McIlhenney, Cameron, roaming around.
It's true. He's taking a nap right now.
I have him hidden in the office.
There's going to be a third generation brewer here in about 15 years.
Yeah. We'll get him started early.
That is so special. So obviously we're drinking Wizard's Wand West Coast IPA. I love this beer. It is absolutely delicious. But I also want to talk about what you guys have going on at McIlhenney Brewing. I tasted your collaboration with Nickel Brewing, the, 79?
To McIlhenney.
Yes. That beer was legit. What are you guys doing there at the tasting room?
We're just cranking out crowlers is what we're doing, to be honest with you. I've never in my life filled so many crowlers. It's insane. We're obviously a little bit farther removed from downtown San Diego, so people drive out here. They want to have a pint or two and then bring some beers home with them, bring them to friends. So many people still haven't tried our beer yet, so it's a lot of crowlers to go bring to a friend to be like, hey, I went there. I got this for you. And it's really awesome to see. People are so excited, and we're so excited to be here. And it's so good to see everybody again. It's really just like a little family out here. Every day we open the door, and it's good to see everyone's faces. It's nice to reintroduce them to Shawn's beers again. And luckily the beers are tasting wonderful. So, we're cranking it out.
There is a bit of a trek out to you guys there in Alpine. However, the handful of times that I've been out there, I haven't had an instance that I haven't run into somebody that I know. So definitely the trip is being made out there because your beers are so legit.
Our friends are very supportive, and everybody, it's awesome. We really aren't that far. It's like a 20-minute drive. Like every time people come out here, they're like, oh, that wasn't really bad. We're like, yeah, no, it's really not. It's a straight shot on the 8. Like,
I'm going to give my pro tip. This is my pro tip. If I'm going to go out to Alpine, I'm going to stop at Grand Ole Barbecue in Flint Springs, and then I'm going to go to McIlhenney. But actually, I'm going to start at McIlhenney.
Yes.
I'm going to have 2 beers there, and then I'm going to go to Grand Ole Barbecue and have some great barbecue to get me back to San Diego, because that is the ultimate trip out to Alpine. Would you agree, Paul?
I think the Irish Red would go very well with barbecue. Actually,
Mr. Name?
Yep.
That's my favorite.
Yep, that is a great food pairing beer, if there ever was one. It goes with almost every style that you could think of.
Danielle, I'm really glad you kind of looped back around and said it's not that far of a trek out there, because really, it's
really not
15, 20 minutes depending on traffic. It's really not that far at all. But everybody makes it out to be super far. And I can imagine people pull up with coolers, and they want to fill the entire cooler with growlers and ice, and because we can't come back out here later this week.
No, you legit. You hit that turn from El Cajon, and you're the second exit after that. It's right there, and then you get to see that defunct amusement park. It's not really an amusement park anymore. I hear once upon a time it was famous. I don't know.
It was awesome.
Yep, great place to go in our views.
Now it looks haunted.
And I hear that's what they do at Halloween. Before we get into the dry Irish stout, can you guys just tell us what's going on with McIlhenney Brewing?
We're out here just trying to provide the highest quality beer that we can, trying to stay true to style. We're not really the trend chasers. You're probably not going to see a lot of the hazy milkshake kettle soured pastry IPAs. Not really our style. We're just trying to,
We're drinking.
beers that we like to drink.
Yeah.
That's what we're going to be making.
And it's okay to have those styles. There's a style for everybody. That is
absolutely.
Just
there's room for everybody here.
Absolutely.
There's a beer out there for everybody. We've been saying that for years and years and years, right? So I also like that you guys have kind of, given a nod to some of the, older school brands of beer.
We know what sells well, and so while nothing was copied completely, everything has similarities. Of course, similar styles.
Some of those old hop varieties are really, really good, but there are some newer ones that are also really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
So inserting some newer varieties into sort of older base beers is fun, right? I mean, Strata and Mosaic.
I would like to give a shout out to the Month's New Zealand Hop IPA. That beer is so delicious.
Very, very good. Yeah, reminiscent of another rye IPA that we used to make under a different name. It's gotten upgrades, newer varieties of hops, switching up the grain bills to where, yes, it's similar. Nothing is by far and away the same. So.
Well, speaking of switching up the grain bill, let's talk about the dry Irish stout, the DryRish. What is this?
That's a beer that had never been made at our former brewery. Completely new recipe. This was the first beer brewed on the new to us brew house. We got some upgraded equipment from the former occupancy, and so we got a killer deal on a oversized 15-barrel brew house. Resided right here in San Diego for a couple years, and then both breweries that occupied that space or that equipment found other alternatives to producing beer in-house and started contract brewing. So that brew house went to an auction company and sat for the better part of a year until I found out about it. And then we moved it into our old digs here in Alpine.
Easy peasy, putting it right in the window.
You guys, I am not a stout person at all, but this beer is delicious.
Awesome, thank you. Yeah, great roast component. You've got, it's silky smooth. It's got, carbonated pretty good.
Dry.
I think it hits all the high marks that you need for a good classic Irish dry stout.
Is it blasphemy to say that I want to put a scoop of vanilla bean ice cream in the middle? Because there's something about it. I want something creamy with this because it's just it's so good. But I'm like, we could elevate it.
Yeah.
I want it with like creme brulee or something.
It's that little extra sweet because it is very dry. It is a very dry Irish stout, but I feel like I just need that little pinnacle of sweet on the top of it. What do you think, Paul?
I think it would almost be sacrilege to add anything to this and change this in any way. This is magical, just the way it is. I love it. I'm wondering right now, as I taste both of these, whether they were entered in the JBF this year.
Both of them, as a matter of fact, were. So we've got some pretty high hopes with the dry stout, especially. I really think it's hitting all the marks of.
As a longtime judge, I would give this good marks.
I appreciate it.
And it's a very good example of the style. And I also have a hard time believing you guys never made a dry Irish stout.
Right?
Right. I mean,
we had a stout that didn't really conform to any particular style. There was a heavy chocolate malt component. There was oats in it. So could be considered a chocolate stout. It could be an oatmeal stout. But it really, truly didn't fit into one particular style. And so never really received great marks while judging. Just because it was kind of tough to find out what category to really put it in.
Yeah.
With the addition of maple syrup, too, it kind of, there was an extra layer of complexity that, again, didn't conform to any particular style. So
I think that's what a lot of people did back in like 1999, was just kind of made beers that they like to drink.
Right.
And,
Define categories.
Yeah.
This might be a dumb question. I'm sorry if it is, but can you barrel age a dry stout?
Sure. Why not?
Right? Like,
Yeah.
so I mean, Shawn, if you could barrel age this specific beer in any barrels, what would you barrel age it in?
Bourbon. Yep. And wouldn't really be too picky about what variety, but any bourbon, maybe even an American wheated bourbon would be pretty nice, and I probably wouldn't go too long on the barrel age.
No.
Just a kiss, right? You want to don't want to be beat over the head with the barrel staves or anything. It's
so maybe for the anniversary next year, like perhaps. I mean, I don't know. I just
it's quite possible. Although I do have some barrels. God, they were 8 to 10-year-old Elijah Craig bourbon barrels that now are resting some Imperial Stout in. So,
oh my goodness!
Yeah,
oh,
much bigger.
You guys are filled with so many surprises at McIlhenney Brewing. For anybody that doesn't know where to keep up with you guys, how do we know what's going on with McIlhenney Brewing?
You can follow us on Facebook and Instagram. The website, McIlhenneybrewing.com, will lead you to our website where you, I think within California, do we have shipping on anything?
No.
Nope. Never mind.
You'll get there. You'll get there. No.
You got to come up here and see us.
You got to come say hi.
You guys reopened in the middle towards the end of a pandemic, and I give you guys the utmost props for doing it because I can't imagine how difficult it is, but you guys are weathering the storm, and I love McIlhenney Brewing, and I can't wait to see your tap handles down here in central San Diego more than I see.
Well, yes. We're working on it soon enough, hopefully.
Oh, it'll happen.
Hopefully everybody that's going out there, and buying crowlers is saving some capacity for, I don't know, other places here. Like one of my favorite haunts is O'Brien's, and
we actually just did a beer dinner at O'Brien's, and the first time that McIlhenney beer had been seen out in the wild, and they, everything that was served at the beer dinner was in a half-barrel keg, so they had a little bit left over that they served throughout the week, and I believe that they are on their way to re-upping on that. So that and West Coast Barbecue at La Mesa, both places owned by our friend Tom Nickel.
Tyson
Blake,
and Christina.
right? And Christina Blake. So you'll see our beer a little bit more often out and about until we get a packaging line, and then a lot of that's going to be converted.
Ooh, that's going to be a whole game changer.
Right.
Look, Shawn, I have told you since the day I met you 5 years ago that I have always loved you and your dad's beer. I think that you have carried the torch on so amazingly from what your dad has done for craft beer, specifically in Alpine, but just craft beer in general. So thank you so much for continuing the torch and just doing it. And I cannot wait to see your guys' son in 19 years doing the damn thing, because that is so rad. Before we leave, Jamie and Shawn of McIlhenney Brewing, what would you like to leave with the people of 91X?
Come visit. Come say hi.
Yep, any day but Monday.
Yeah. Come say what's up. Come hang out. Family friendly. You're just a part of the family once you walk in the door. So,
Mr. Brewmaster Paul Segura, what would you like to leave about McIlhenney Brewing?
Well, I probably speak on on behalf of a bazillion San Diegans and just say thank you guys for going on and opening up McIlhenney and once again sharing your knowledge and love and passion with all of us. I love your new beers here. These are awesome additions to a really exceptional lexicon of beers that you guys have. And it's, I wish I could still follow your father's adventures. I know he's out there traveling the world and drinking
he's
beer.
Living his best life.
Right? I mean, I'm living vicariously through him.
Right? Never a dull moment, and more adventures to come. So I'm sure he'll be posting all about that in the near future.
So, I think you guys are being met with open arms by everybody in San Diego and beyond. And congratulations on your new digs. And much continued success to you guys.
Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
And now I'm going to close it out with the biggest love fest ever. You guys have been my favorite beer since I came into San Diego. You guys have made the best beers ever. Not to mention your entire family is so welcoming and so amazing. If you know Pat, Val, Jamie, or Shawn, and the newest addition, Cameron, you know that you're in good company because you guys are one of the best families that I have ever met. And we continue to talk about local independent beer. This is local independent beer. This is a family who is making their own business, making their own beer. And when you go into the tasting room, these are the faces that you see. So when you go into McIlhenney Brewing, let it be known that every single beer on the beer board, you will find something you love, no matter what kind of beer drinker you are, and you are going to enjoy what is in your glass. So with that, I am so stoked to have you guys on Beer for Breakfast Friday morning on the radio at 9:05 Pacific Standard Time with myself, Paul Segura, and my co-host Marty, and we are going to be drinking McIlhenney Brewing. And with that, cheers to independently owned craft beer and radio in San Diego.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.